Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Transport Fever 2, and welcome back to almost Middlewich. This is a new train line that we have running down to Middlewich, and you might have noticed that it's a passenger train line. I figured I would get this done between episodes because, to be completely honest, it's not the most exciting thing to just put in a couple of tracks and set up a new line. So we have finally got a passenger train coming down to Middlewich, and what's cool about it is that it's already quite popular. It's already full leaving Middlewich, and this is actually the first time this train has made it down here. So in the journey to get here, on the first run of this train, there is already enough demand to fill the train on the way back from Middlewich to Whitehaven and on to Bingham. So we're going to have another pretty popular passenger train line, is what that says to me. And looking in Whitehaven, there's already 136 people, so more than that train can carry, waiting to go to Bingham. So I'm thinking we might need another train. And then looking in Bingham, I mean, there's 49 people wanting to head back down the way, which is whatever, but there's 158 wanting to head to, well, via Norton. There's 85 wanting to go to Norton specifically. So the passenger train lines are, well, they're kind of crazy busy, and I'm kind of here for it. I'm really enjoying the fact that they're kind of crazy busy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this line. I'm going to manage the vehicle. I'm going to modify it a little bit. I'm going to give it a few more of these passenger wagons. We'll go up to a capacity of, say, 170 for an additional $4 million, and we'll duplicate that. And that'll give us a capacity of 340 across that entire line, which is hopefully going to be enough. Hopefully that's going to be a little bit more than enough, but we'll see what ends up happening. Either way, this is good. This is a good thing. We're going to see some growth from Whitehaven and Middlewich. We've got more destinations. People can get around more in general. So the population in Whitehaven is aiming for 1,128, as we can see here in the bottom right. And looking at Middlewich, 1,097. So, long story short, this is a good thing. This is a very, very good thing that we have going on here. Now, I did say in the last episode that we were going to balance a bunch of our lines today, and that is something that I want to get around to doing eventually. But I'm not necessarily going to go back on what I said, because I don't want to say that we're not doing that today, but there is something I want to do before we get there, with the exception of this line down here, because I'm noticing this guy's producing 600. This line must have, 807 as its rate. So let's go and manage those vehicles. Let's go ahead and pull, let's say, 8 of them out of here for the time being. That'll bring us down to 697. Let me grab another 5 and sell those, and that's going to bring us down to, once the autosave's done, hopefully around 600, because the goal here is to have that rate be just under 600, or just about 600 exactly, and that now means this line will be running perfectly optimally, and that's exactly what we're looking for, despite the fact that it's going to have fewer vehicles. Now, looking here, this guy is producing up to 400 planks at any one time, which is fair enough. Shipment is about 366, which means this guy, oh, interesting. So the rate is 261 right now. So we do have an excess. We could probably bring this this rate up a little bit then, is what I'm thinking. So let's manage those vehicles. Let me go and say that I want another 5. We'll go ahead and duplicate those 5. That gives us 313. I think that's probably fair enough. And then looking up at or down at the parts factory, or the machine parts factory, we have got an excess of planks already. So we really need to get more steel in here. Looking over at the steel, what exactly is going on? We have an excess of coal. We do not have an excess of iron. And then looking into these lines, I mean, if we pin this, look at coal, it is currently 403. Iron is currently 374. Both of those, honestly, I'm tempted to just bring up to 600. I think it's probably going to be worth doing. So give me the coal one, pin that, manage vehicles, 406, whatever. Give me Those 5 duplicate, that gives us 430. Duplicate again, that gives us 454. Duplicate again, that gives me 477. 501. We'll go for 500, so we're not going to run the iron mine completely dry, but we'll go, you know, pretty close to it. So about 500 there should be good. And then when it comes to the steel one, kind of a similar story. Just give me 5 duplicate. That gives us 435. And again, gives us 465. And again, should give me about 500. 494. Okay. Give me like one more. And that'll give me 501. So that's perfect. That should start balancing out a little bit better. It is going to be more vehicles on those lines. It is going to make this place really busy. And honestly, what we're probably going to want to do here is exactly what we did down here. We're probably going to want to split this all out and get this to be a lot more efficient, because this place is producing pretty well now. It's doing all right for itself, but I'd definitely like to see if we can do the same thing with the other places as well. These guys are really nicely balanced there. And let's see, it's 2-to-1 on each. The rate on you is 516. The rate on this is actually way too high. We can go ahead and get rid of a bunch of these vehicles because these guys are bringing in 467. So the rate on this line could probably be about what would that be? 233 and a half is what we'd be looking for in this line. So if we go and manage you, we can get rid of like half of these vehicles. And I think what we'll do is just get rid of about 13 of them and see what that does for us. So that brings it down to 308. Let's bring that down by another, let's say 3 or 4. Let's try getting rid of 4 of them. 247. I'll take that. So this line should be running a bit more efficiently. We're still going to be moving a good amount of steel. We're still making an excess of tools up here, and that's totally fine. We'll rebalance that in a little bit. Like I said, I'm not going to rebalance all of these lines. We have way too many vehicles. We need to balance a lot of things. What I really want to do is I want to get an airport in here, because my plan, like I said in that last episode, is to come all the way down to the bottom of the map, down here to Rochester. And I want to bring food, and I want to bring machines down here, because I think that'd be a really good idea. I'm also slightly disappointed that this sawmill is going away, because we could have had some tools production down here. We do have logs, we do have a sawmill, we do have a tools factory, so that's a bit unfortunate. Not the end of the world, but just a little bit unfortunate. And looking over here, we have grain to cows. Do we have anywhere we could slaughter those? We actually do up here. Do we have anywhere we could turn that meat into food? We do over here by Midsummer Norton. Okay. We could play around with that, but I think what I'm going to do is try and just grow Rochester. That's kind of my plan here. So let's build this out a little bit. Let's get a little bit of infrastructure down here just before we go too crazy on it. So we'll start with, you know, a connection on that road there. I'm going to bring this road sort of down here as well. I'm going to bring this guy sort of straight through like this. So we have that little corner going on. And I think what I'm going to do is just sort of bring this road kind of up along the coast a little bit. I'm going to just bring it around a little bit. I'm just going to do a little bit of detailing here, make it look kind of interesting. So something like this. We'll bring this guy kind of back down like so. And I want to connect it to this guy. So basically a nice straight line down here. Bring this one back. Bring this guy straight down. And connect this guy straight through. So something kind of like that. I think we'll actually curve it up this way a little bit just because we can. And that's kind of interesting. I think that kind of works out. We'll connect this guy to that intersection as well. And the reason I wanted to do that is just so I can have a good little path for my buses to take here, because that's going to be the idea. Now, let's take a look. We have industry here. So let me get myself a bus or a road depot. And we'll go ahead and just swing it around. We'll actually have it go this way. And it can live, I think, right about there is probably a solid spot for it. So right about there for that road depot. And I might actually go for trams just to be a bit different. I think that might be kind of interesting. So do I have to upgrade my roads? Yeah, tram track. We're going to go for electric on that. And we're going to go around and upgrade the roads. So we'll just do sort of all of these, basically. Do I have to upgrade you as well? I think I might have to. If I go to buildings, road depot, maybe, I don't know. It's a tram depot that I'm looking for. That's fine. We can do that in a second. So in terms of the streets that I want to get some trams going around, I'm basically going to do sort of all of the main ones here. So just the entire way around the town here. We'll come down this way. We'll go like that. And that gives us a nice little loop around Rochester. And then what we'll do is just get ourselves the tram depot, which honestly could probably just go opposite the road depot there. I think that's a decent little spot for it. So something kind of like that, I think works out. And now what we'll do is get some bus and tram stops, and we'll say, you know, right about there. We'll say out here. We'll say up there. We'll go down here. We'll come down to the main road. We'll go up towards these houses, sort of down and around everything. And this will just give the town a bit of an excuse to start growing a little bit. And once we get it connected by, I guess, plane to everything else that I've built, then in theory, we're probably going to end up with something pretty cool here. This place, hopefully, is going to grow really nicely. So we'll just go ahead and line out all of these stops. That gives us 11 of them, which I'm totally fine with. And this is going to be, I guess it's road passengers, and I guess it's Rochester, and it's tram loop 1 is what we'll call it. And then for Rochester, I mean, color-wise, let's go for green, I suppose. We haven't really gone for a green anywhere on, well, we went with Peterlee, but this is a nice kind of shaded green. We'll go for that. So that'll be just fine. We'll get ourselves some trams here, and we'll get those going around. That'll hopefully encourage the place to do some good things. We'll go for, I'm going to say 5 of them for now. I think that'll be just fine. We'll get them in that nice green color, and we'll go ahead and put them out in the tram loop. So those can run around and do their thing. They're kind of cool looking. I like them a lot. So I'm excited to see these things hopefully get people moving around Rochester. We do have people waiting already, which is fantastic. So at this stage, let's look into getting ourselves some kind of airfield, and it's going to be passengers that we're looking to move here. And oh boy, I mean, in terms of a location, I feel like out here, you know, I feel like, oh, this would be perfect. Having the airfield kind of jutting out on that little bit of land right there is kind of perfect. I really, really dig that. There's not really anywhere like that either. So I think that's kind of what we're going to have to do. I'm going to have to move it down the beach a little bit. Let's see if I can do something like this. I think that's pretty cool. I do like that a lot. Yes, it's a bit out of the way, but I like that a lot. So let's just do that. Let's just do that. That's going to be our first airfield down here by Rochester Airport. It's going to need a road connection, which means we're probably going to need buses here, annoyingly, unless I bring tram lines out this way, which, I mean, I certainly can bring trams out here. That is definitely an option. It might be a little bit weird, but I don't think it would be the worst thing in the world to do. So maybe that's what we'll do with this. We'll just go ahead and sort of bring, you know what, trams going out to this airport would actually be a really nice like view just along the beach and the water and all that good stuff. That might actually be really nice. Rochester's about to become a tourist destination is what it's about to be. That's what I'm building here, and I'm not even meaning to. I'm about to build the best tourist destination on this entire map, and I'm kind of here for it. So we'll see how this plays out. Let's get you connected like so. Let's get this guy. We don't want tram tracks here, so what we'll do is just a little something like this. I think we'll do just fine. We're probably not going to use this, but we'll get it connected anyway, and we'll go ahead and just get this guy upgraded to tram tracks as well. And that looks fine. I mean, it's a bit weird. It's definitely a bit weird, but I'm kind of here for it. So let's get ourselves a tram stop, I guess, right about there. Let's go and look at this line and see what we can do. So that's going to be after stop number 2. We kind of need it to come all the way down to here, turn around, go back, and honestly, that's totally fine. That'll work perfectly. So we have a connection to the airport. We have people going around Rochester. It's not a cargo airport, which is something we have to keep in mind. If we want to do cargo, we're going to need a cargo terminal, which honestly, I mean, we could do that. We could do a cargo terminal down there, maybe, so that it's sort of away from the passenger section. That way we can have 2 sets of planes coming down here, and we can also have some trucks coming down here. In fact, let's go ahead to streets. Let me grab this tool right here and just bring this out. So it is, you know, going right down there. And that'll be just fine. That'll work out kind of nicely. I really like how this looks down here at the, on sort of the peninsula there. I think that's really cool. And I suppose all I need to do now is go back up to Bingham and figure out where the hell I'm going to put an airport here. Because, I mean, Bingham is 1,493 people. It's aiming for 1,536, which is amazing. This is such a busy station. Oh my God. That is wild. That is wildly busy. Hold on a second. Let me look at this line. Let me manage these vehicles. Let me modify these vehicles. And let me go with this guy, because we're going to have to upgrade these passenger wagons for sure. So I'm going to take out all of the existing passenger wagons. We have a capacity of 140 on these trains. I'm hoping I can go a little bit higher than that. That way we can hopefully do some good here. So we'll go and say that we want a bunch of these. So 1, 2, 3. I don't want them in that color though. Hold on a second. I want them to be in that sort of nice kind of white color. We'll go for here and we'll say, give me a capacity of 170 per vehicle. And that's hopefully not going to be crazy expensive. We could probably go higher than that though, to be fair. 181 meters, 204 capacity. I think we'll stick with 170 just to not go crazy here. And this should hopefully get a bunch more people moving around. It's hopefully going to keep this line nice and popular, which is what we're looking for. It is very expensive to do this though, but probably worth it. So let's just go ahead and do this. 154 meters long, 170 capacity. The current rate is 285. That is now going to be 346. So that's good. Each train is going to be moving more people, which is exactly what we're looking for. We are down to $17 million, but I think we can get away with that. And I guess in terms of an airfield, I was mentioning that here would be interesting, but I think that might be a bit much. The planes are going to be sort of taking off over the city. That might be a bit sketchy. We could potentially do here. This would be sort of right next to the airport. That might be a little bit wild, but I'm kind of here for it. I'm going to be honest. I think that's kind of the spot. It's going to be landing over a couple of houses, but that's their problem and not mine. So I think that's what we're going to do. I think 4.3 million airport right there. That seems like a good spot. What we'll do is go and modify this guy. We'll go and put a cargo terminal right at the end there like we did on the other one. And I suppose we're not going to do tram tracks. We're just going to do a little something across here. Just like that. I might go for the bigger road. I think we can get away with a smaller one though. And bring this guy straight out. It's apparently a narrow angle. Okay, well, fair enough. Can I... It'd be nice if I could get it to work, but apparently it doesn't want to. Let me just take out this road for a second. Let me bring this guy sort of straight over. And let me see. Can I connect these guys? No. That is just going to be a narrow angle. That's going to be the complaint there. That's slightly annoying. Okay, what could I do to make this work? I guess I could just go to the curve tool, sort of do a little something here. I don't know if it's going to want to work with me though. If I take that out and take this out, I can probably do... I can do that to start with. We'll go ahead and bring this road sort of straight through, I suppose. Maybe just have it sort of go, you know, at a nice right angle on that main road. And then this guy can just sort of, you know, if I can get it to click, we can have it go here. And that should be just fine. I don't know if it's going to work out all that well, but it's a connection. It's a connection to the airport, and that's what I'm looking for. In terms of buses, though, I do want a bus stop down here, of course. So right about there, we have passengers here. Let me look at Bingham Loop 1. I can absolutely have that work. So manage the line. After the first stop, we want it to come down to the airport. Then we want it to go back up and around. And so in theory, if we look at Bingham Loop 1, it is doing exactly what I want it to do. It's coming down to the airport and then it's going back on its business. That is perfect. That is absolutely perfect. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna buy a vehicle. We're gonna be looking for the Junker F-13. It moves 3 people at a time. It is 85 miles per hour top speed, so not very quick in the slightest, but I'm okay with that. I want like 5 of them. I want 5 of them, and I want them to be, oh, I don't know. I don't know what color they should be. I don't know what part of them gets painted either. Let's go for like a nice red. It looks like the front of them gets painted, so we'll go for that nice red right there. And let's get a passenger line. Let's do it. So from here, we want to go all the way to the bottom of the map, right down to Rochester, right about here. So we'll get that set up. They can sort of just fly back and forth, do their thing. It's a nice long line, which is what I'm looking for. It's going to be AP for air passengers, and it is Bingham / Rochester. And we'll go ahead and just have it be that nice bright red there. And now we just have to put some vehicles on it. That's all we got to do. So back up to Bingham. Let's go and grab these vehicles, paint them that nice bright red color, put them on the air passenger line, and they will go and do their thing, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, in terms of getting cargo down to Rochester, that's going to be slightly trickier because I am going to have to move it into this airport and then move it, down to Rochester. And we're wanting to move food, and we're wanting to move, I guess, machines. So, I mean, the machines are just up the road, which is fantastic. And the food is also just up the road, which is also fantastic. So really, we can get away with something quite easy here. But I think just because I want to be careful with space, I'm gonna go ahead and get 2 platforms on the right here. And we are gonna do just a little cargo terminal, just sort of up the road here, kind of near the cargo section. I think that's probably fair enough to just get a little terminal here. So we'll go and we'll do this. And what we can do is say that I guess from down here would be fine. I guess up here would be fine. I think this has less traffic, so I'm going to go with this one. And we're going to say food to airports. And this is technically a Rochester line. Well, no, it's technically Bingham. So we'll do road cargo. It is Bingham, and we'll say food to airports. We'll get that to be bright yellow. And then machines to airport is the other one. So new line from here, that's Whitworth. So road cargo, Whitworth, and it's machines to airports. And Whitworth lines are bright pink. So we'll get that painted up as well. And now all we need to do is get the vehicles, set up the lines to move only what I want to move, and then we're good. And so just like that, we now have some cargo planes that are going to be moving machines and food down to Rochester. We do have some trucks around Rochester that are going to pick that stuff up and take it into the town when it gets here, assuming it actually gets there. We do have a lot of planes though. We're up to like 7 or 8 planes at this point, which is kind of crazy. It's also going to be kind of expensive, so hopefully we're going to see some good things. I'm not really expecting a miracle here though. I'm not really expecting that people are suddenly going to be like, man, Rochester sounds like a good time, let's go there. But I mean, you never know, right? You never know. There's always a chance that for whatever reason, oh, we got a new plane, lovely. There's always a chance that for whatever reason, oh, we just got the A3 Flying Scotsman as well. Ooh. Oh, that's exciting. That's actually really exciting. I'm kind of keen for that one. Also, my game is like stuttering. Everything's kind of having trouble right now, which is a little bit concerning. How many people are here? There's a lot. I've never seen the game stutter like this before. It's not doing it when, well, no, it is sort of doing it when I run it at 2 times speed as well. Oh my God, there's so many people here wanting to go to Norton. Good Lord. I think it's just struggling with like how many entities it's trying to render and figure out, to be honest. Like there's so many vehicles here. There's so many vehicles. I really do need to do something about this. Someone in the Discord recently asked, you know, how's your PC coping with this? How's your PC dealing with like having to render all of this? And my response at the time was, you know, I was so preoccupied with whether or not I could, I didn't stop to think whether or not I should. And I'm starting to think that I maybe should have stopped to think whether or not I should have built all the things that I've built here. But we'll see what happens is what we'll do. If we need to, we'll just come down to Rochester and we'll just deal with Rochester is what we'll do. Interestingly, speaking of Rochester, it is not growing in the slightest, which is fair enough. That's kind of to be expected. They do have some destinations available to them now, though. So hopefully in the near future, we're going to see, I don't know, people wanting to go through the airport. That would be kind of ideal. I do want to just check, though, and see if we're seeing any food waiting to go to the airport. There's not really a huge demand for it, to be fair. So there's every chance that we're just not, oh yeah, no, that's machines delivery. Machines to airport has nothing. All right, we might be waiting here for a little bit to see things go to the airport, but at the very least, we do have the plane lines going, so I'm very excited about that. I also want to just see where my money is right now. I'm really curious on that one. So the top earners, it's still that passenger line. This bricks one is doing crazy money as well. We should probably, there's only one train on this line. This is the bricks down to Whitehaven and Middlewich. Let's manage those vehicles. Give me another one. Give me another train on that line and we'll hopefully make more money. And then look in here, this is the booze one. This is the other passenger line, which is making good money as well. I think what I'm most surprised about is the fact that this particular passenger line, this blue one, is just making crazy amounts of money. It's also just crazy popular. That's kind of what's surprising me as well. But to be, oh, hold on a minute. That's a lot of bricks waiting to go into Norton right there. Good Lord. Okay, we might need some more vehicles on this line. Let me just duplicate the number that we have on there because we're moving a lot of bricks and we're going to start losing them if we're not careful. And Norton does have pretty substantial demand for bricks as well. So if we can start getting all of those in there, we should see this place growing really, really nicely. We'll start to completely deal with that bricks demand or the construction material demand. So that'll be good for us. We do have some growth down here, which I love to see. I honestly love that the roads are like naturally sort of following, you know, the perimeter of this mine. But like I said last time, it would be miserable to live there right next to that thing. It would be so bad. And then Whitworth, I love that this is like really nicely surrounded the train station as well. That's so good. Oh wow, I've also just noticed how many people are wanting to go via Bingham here. 331 people want to go to Bingham right now from Whitehaven. That is wild. That kind of tells me that we might need another train on this line as well. That's a lot. That is definitely a lot, but I think we can probably afford it. The line is sort of making money, so we'll see how that plays out. We don't have as many people waiting down here, but yeah, that is wild. That is a lot. That is definitely a lot. Let's see. Food to airport actually had some food waiting around, which is lovely. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, actually. I'm just going to sort of expand this a little bit so we can separate these platforms so that not everything's piled on top of each other anymore. So you can stay there, you can go to Terminal 2, and you can go to Terminal 3, and that'll just sort of split things up a little bit, which I think is probably for the best. And then looking over here, we have a lot of things and a lot of terminals. So let's send you down to Terminal 6. Let's send you down to Terminal 5. Let's send you down to Terminal 4. Let's send you down to Terminal 3. And then there's a lot of things kind of doubling up in a lot of terminals there. So let's move you down to Terminal 6. You down to Terminal 5 as well. And you down to Terminal 4. So they're doubled up a little bit. But that just sort of spreads things out a little bit. It means that things might be a little bit better. And hopefully we get some machines to go to the airport at some point as well. As for traffic here, I mean, yeah, I don't know. There's only so much I can do. there's really only so much I can do for traffic in this space. I mean, in fairness, one thing I could probably do is have some of these lines, you know, maybe go straight back here, avoiding this junction completely. That would definitely be one option. In fact, I think what I might do is give this thing street access on this side. I'm also going to see, can I put some... No, I can't put buildings there. That's unfortunate. I can put one there, though. I can put some here, too, which I happen to really enjoy. I really do like these buildings, so I'm going to do that because it just looks... It looks cool, so we'll do that. We'll get one up there as well. And that's all right. That gives us a bit more space for planks. But what I'm thinking is... Oh, we've got the new streets. We've got the one-way streets as well now. That's... actually kind of huge. We also got medium highways. I should probably start building highways. That's something I follow some of the Transport Fever subreddits, and there's occasionally these posts you see from people that are like, yeah, I built this really cool looking highway thing, and I just look at that and I'm like, man, that is really cool. Like, there's some really cool stuff that people do. Also, apparently none of them want to use that new road. That's a little bit unfortunate. That's a bit of a shame, is what that is. I realize none of these guys are actually going up that way either, so that's why this road is completely pointless. Is what it is. That is it's a bit of a shame. I got really excited for nothing there. All right, let's get rid of that street access, I suppose, and we'll not worry too much about it. We'll figure that out eventually. It's not the end of the world. We'll get some new vehicles in time and everything will be okay. When it comes to highways, though, I'm kind of wondering if I could do like an elevated highway sort of like straight through here, just avoiding all of this. That seems like a lot, but it also seems like it would be a good idea. I'm also wondering if I was to go and say, you know, take out, say like all of this road, right? Let me bring this guy right back as well. Let me just delete this entire sort of connection here, and we'll just completely rebuild it using sort of the new highways, because it's probably going to be a bit better. In fact, bring that right back, cut you out, get rid of you. And then what we'll do is we'll go and get ourselves like a large country road, speed limit 62 miles per hour. And we'll just go for like a little straight section here. So something straight out there. And then what I want to do is just use this curved section to just connect these guys together as best I possibly can. So bring this guy sort of out to here. Bring this guy sort of straight off of there. And that just gives us a really nice shot back and forth there. We can go ahead and sort of upgrade this guy as well. Gives us a bunch of lanes, gives us more speed. That's exactly what we're looking for. And then we'll have just a little small country road sort of connecting these guys together. And that should be just fine. So something kind of like that right there. And then for the streets, we'll just turn this into we'll turn that into a large street. It'll move some buildings, remove some buildings. That's okay. That seems fine. That seems like a good connection between the two cities. We should probably do the same thing on this side as well. So what we can do is just take out this bit. This bit's nice and straight, so it can stay. We'll bring this all sort of right back to there. Bring you right down to there. Maybe bring that bit back as well. And we'll go grab some large country road. Upgrade. Ooh, hold on a minute. Get rid of you. Upgrade. This guy is apparently not possible. Interesting. All right, so what we'll do then is grab this, bring it. Why is that not possible? That's really odd that that's not possible. Okay, bring this all right back then. And let's just do this, like a nice straight section of country road. It can sort of just go straight through here. It's kind of the American way of doing things, just sort of point in a direction and go there with the highway, which is, I mean, that's fair enough. That's one thing that I noticed when I was in California a good few years ago now, was like all the roads just kind of go to where they need to go. Whereas because like Europe and the UK and all that, it's like so much older as a country, like the roads and the paths that they follow just kind of go wherever. It's kind of wild. It's kind of nuts at times. It really is. But yeah, America's just completely different when it comes to road layouts. It really is. But I think that'll be fine right there. What we can do is bring this guy sort of straight up here as well. We'll take out that little extra bit. In fact, we won't. We'll keep that little extra bit. We'll go to about here and we'll swing this around like that. That'll give us a little connection there. And that seems just fine by me. There was a connection down here that we need to do similar with, so bring you right back, bring you sort of straight through, and that'll be just fine. And that looks to me like a much better setup. Although I will say this is Norton here. We should probably upgrade some roads. We do have these extra large streets. They might be a bit big though. But then again, I do have $29 million, so I think I can afford to do this. It is going to destroy some buildings. It is going to move some buildings. Apparently, it's not possible there at all, which is a bit unfortunate, but okay. We'll do this. And, I mean, that is a kind of main road going straight through there, so we'll just see if we can kind of bring this straight through, which we can. We'll downgrade to a slightly smaller road for there, and that'll be fine. This bit should probably be upgraded as well, so that we can have that sort of larger road going straight through there too. We'll upgrade you to a, 4-lane road. And then it's just this little bit in here. That's kind of the problem. Can I upgrade you? No. So I'm gonna have to delete this, which is it's gonna cause some issues, but that's fine. Upgrade all that, and then we'll go back in. We'll go to buildings. We'll go to truck unload stop. And does that count? I think it does. Okay. So that should hopefully solve any traffic issues that we might have had. It might reroute some vehicles as well, but for the most part, that's going to be a little bit more efficient. It's going to be higher speed, and it's hopefully going to do good things for us. Oh no, this is kind of cool. Rochester is actually growing, which is wild. We're getting some pretty decent high rises in here. We're up to 318 people off of connections alone. We have had some food deliveries as well, so that's going great for the town. No machines yet, but food deliveries is pretty cool. I actually like that a lot. And we even have people waiting up here to fly down there, which is pretty wild. Now, how much do you carry? You carry 8 units of food, right? So you're going to load up full, which is great. We have 15 still sitting. We have another plane coming in as well, so we should be moving a good amount of food down to Rochester. We'll get that going. We'll hopefully make some money off those lines. Not 100% sure if we will, but there's always a chance. It would be nice if we were moving the machines down there. I'll be honest, it would be kind of great. There is nothing on machines to airport though, which makes me wonder if I've set this line up properly or not. So let's have a quick look. We actually, no, that's where it's went wrong. The line isn't actually picking up machines. So now, hopefully, we're gonna see machines to airport end up with a machine or two put onto that line so that we can actually get those down to Rochester as well. That's the hope anyway. We'll wait and see. Again, it's not the end of the world. I am thinking though, this road here should probably be an extra large country road so that we can have more lanes on it. So traffic can go left if it wants to, straight on if it wants to, right if it wants to, and that'll probably help us out quite a bit. I'm thinking kind of same for all of these guys at these intersections, just to give traffic a few more options here and there, just so it can kind of get around, because it's definitely having some issues just with the traffic here. I'm not thinking I'm going to do the same over here. I don't think we need to go too crazy on that one. Although this probably should just be, I mean, this could probably be an extra large main street. This could probably be an extra large main street. That can probably be an extra large main street as well. Again, just to give people more options so that they have more lanes for going straight on and all of that. This can't be upgraded. It's going to be too big to upgrade. This could be though. So I think, sure, we'll change that up. This could probably just be changed back, to be completely honest. We don't really need 3 lanes. It's either straight on or to the right or straight on to the left. It doesn't really matter. I don't know if changing this out is going to do anything either, but it's fine. It's all right. It's good. We'll see. We'll just pay attention to it. We'll see what happens. Again, the goal at some point is to get vehicles that are a lot more efficient. And there we go. Machines to airport now has something on it as well. So we should see food. We should see machines all going down to Rochester. Now, one thing I'm noticing here is that Bingham really isn't getting as much food as it needs. It's not getting as many machines. It's not getting as many tools, and it's definitely not getting as much fuel. So Bingham just needs more of everything, which is frustrating because Bingham food delivery doesn't have much on it. Most of the food that we're producing seems to be going to the train, which is wild to me. That is completely wild to me that line is still as busy as it is. This as well, there's a lot of food waiting to go to the airport. So let's manage the vehicles. Let's just duplicate those. We got a lot of food waiting to go to Middlewich as well. So manage the vehicles, duplicate those. And Whitehaven, I think, is probably fine. I'm not going to go too crazy there. We'll just get more vehicles onto those lines and hope for the best. I am kind of wondering, though, what we're going to do. We might need to find an alternative way of providing food to Bingham. Although looking here, this is now starting to get stacked again, which is fair enough. But I might look into it anyway. I might look and see if we can't maybe source food from elsewhere. Might not be the worst idea in the world. Set up kind of a little dedicated thing to bring food into Bingham. Although, is this running at capacity? It is, actually. This probably could get more booze in here, or coffee or meat, though. I'm wondering if that would be an idea. Just try and max out production on this, because it can go up to 800. It's almost at 600. This thing, though, honestly, I think food to train, there's a lot of vehicles here. It's clearly not enough. So let's do another 5 and see what that does for us. I'm not really sure if that's going to be too much, too little, or whatever, but we'll soon find out. It's definitely kind of nuts that it is that busy, but we'll see how it goes. Although, like I said, if I could get more booze, is this running at capacity? Nearly? I mean, not really. It's not got anything backed up either. These guys are producing 300. You guys are moving 361. So these guys are overcompensating. So let's pin this, manage vehicles. Let me sell like 4 of them. And that brings us down to 257. So that was a bit much. Let me buy 2 more. That gives us, I just sold 2 more. Give me 4 more to make up for what I did there. That gives us 312. Let me sell 1. And that gives us 286. Damn. Okay, so the vehicles are kind of important here. We'll go back up to just over 300. That's fine. And then grain to booze number 2 is 367 as well. So pin that, manage the vehicles, get rid of like 2 of them. And that gives us 323. Get rid of 1. And is that going to give us 302? Okay. That's totally fine. So we're now going to be moving that, you know, a little bit more optimally, which is exactly what we're looking for. This guy's production is around 300. You are 287. So that's about where I want it to be. I would like this to be up to 400. I'd like it to produce more regularly, but it's whatever. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking that really another source for this is probably for the best. If we could get maybe, you know, some coffee beans or some meat in here, we might be able to push this up the extra 200 and get up to 800 in production and go crazy from there. But doing that's going to be kind of tricky. That's sort of the issue. We can get some livestock down here. We can get some fish here. Where's the nearest place we can turn that into meat, though? We got a fishery down here as well. It really doesn't seem like there's anywhere in this area that we can turn that into meat, which is sort of the issue. That's kind of the problem that we're having, is turning these things into meat is proven to be difficult. There's nothing up by Boston either. There is another food production thing up by Prince's Risborough, but not really too interested in that either. We do have a coffee farm here. We have a coffee farm over by Petworth as well. Man, it is a bit rough, isn't it? We have coffee down here. We have another food processing plant by Midsummer Norton. Although thinking about it, Rochester does have a coffee refinery, so what if we use that? What if we start sending coffee down to Rochester to be refined and then just bring it back and send it out of the airport into this place? That might actually be a really good idea. Oh, I think that's what we're gonna do. So all we need is a coffee farm like here by Middlewich. So if we just load up on coffee down here, unless there's one closer that I'm not seeing, which it's possible, it's definitely possible, but it doesn't look like it. So if okay, this might actually be a 5-head move right here. But if I get a platform on the right, make it a nice long one just because it can be, and I put, you know, some kind of thing right here, right? 100,000 for that. So that's where we're going to load up the coffee beans. I do think a highway going around Middlewich might be a really good idea. So I'm going to just get rid of that connection for a second. Gonna go to streets, gonna go to country road. We'll go for the medium one just because I want it to be a little bit faster. And we'll go and do something like this to about that spot. And we're gonna just make sort of a fork in the road. So that one's gonna go that way. That one's gonna connect up to there, but I'm gonna just sort of cut that right back so I can do a nice little fork there and then just curve it whatever way it needs to curve for that connection. So this guy is going to sort of curve towards the trees there. And then I want to sort of curve it up to there. I do want it to hit that road. That's very, very much deliberate. And I want it to kind of go basically to there. I mean, it could be more efficient. It could completely avoid the town, but I kind of like that little connection there. I think that's fine. It sort of skims it and that's all right. And yeah, I'm okay with that. It's a way to get around Middlewich without going right into it. That's what I'm looking for. Relatively quick shot up to the airports. That's fine. So let's set up this line real quick. New line. It is technically it's Hodston, but we'll call it Middlewich just because I'm lazy. And we're going to go like this. We're going to go to platform number 2 there just because I can. And it's going to be road cargo. It is Middlewich, and it's going to be, I guess, coffee berries, I think it is. So coffee berries to airport. So that's going to be this color right here. And then what we need to do is we're going to need more planes, I think, because we have a lot of cargo sitting here now. Hold on a second. Can I manage these vehicles? Can I replace them? Is there a better cargo plane? There actually isn't, which is slightly concerning. So we might just need more of them. Let's duplicate those. And I guess let's manage this line and say that it can now also move coffee berries. And then in Rochester, it's going to load up on coffee beans. And then in Bingham, it's going to unload coffee beans. This is going to be a whole thing. This is going to be a whole thing. But what we can do, what's kind of cool, is that I can set up this line to unload the coffee at Bingham Branch and load up on the coffee here. So that's going to be really good. This line's now going to go back and forth and do both things, which is very exciting. All we need to do now is go down to Rochester and basically get the coffee berries up to the coffee refinery, and all should be good. It's not a perfect ratio, but it'll be just fine. We'll go and say, you know, give me the truck station. We'll go ahead and put the truck station, you know, right out front because we can. We could put it over here, actually, most likely, yeah. So it doesn't have to be right out front. We can get it, you know, a little bit less distance is probably for the best. It's a really short run as well, which I love. So new line from here to there. Road cargo, it's Rochester, and I guess it's coffee. I'll just call it coffee production because it's that back and forth. So coffee production, we'll go down, we'll find the line, which is right here. It's going to be that same lovely green color that we've done for Rochester before. And so what we need to do is say at stop number 1, load up on the berries and unload the coffee. At stop number 2, it's the reverse. It's unload the berries and load up the coffee. And that'll be perfectly fine. So let me get some trucks to put on that line initially. So these guys will go for we're going to go for 3 of them to start with, and they're moving coffee beans and coffee berries. Let's go for like a nice rich kind of brownish coppery color. And we'll put that on the Rochester line right down here. So they can head out and they can do their thing. What I now need to do is get some trucks to run from here all the way up to the airport. So Road Depot and Middlewich, we'll go and grab, I'm going to say like 5 of these guys. It's probably going to need more of it. They're moving the coffee berries. And these guys actually could be the ones to bring it back, but it's whatever. We'll make them sort of a nice bright red since they're moving the coffee berries. And this is Middlewich coffee berries to airport. And that's now sorted. So let me just run through the process of this line. So coffee berries get picked up by these trucks. They get taken and dropped off at the airport. They get loaded onto a plane, taken down to Rochester, which is all the way down here. They get dropped off in the plane, picked up by a truck, taken to here, turned into coffee beans. The coffee beans get picked up in a truck, taken back to the airport, loaded up in a plane, taken all the way back to Bingham, where they get unloaded from the plane, picked up by the trucks that are loading food into the airport, taken back to the food processing plant, and we now have a very roundabout way of providing coffee beans to this food processing plant to see if we can take it from just under 600 on the production up to the maximum of 800. I think that covers it. I think that'll work. We will soon find out. Do we have coffee berries? That's the important question. We do. Now, whether or not this place is going to produce a lot is going to be up for debate. It is producing a lot, so we're going to have demand for some cargo. I'm actually really excited for this. I'm really excited for this. I'm actually thinking what we probably need to do is we need to configure this airport. We need to give it another cargo terminal, and we might. I'm going to hold off on doing anything beyond that, because what we can do is go to cargo, go to here, manage the line, and say Bingham Airport, go to either one of these two, and that way the planes can kind of go to either terminal. They can load up at either one and head on out, and that's hopefully going to make it a little bit quicker for them. It is really cool that we do have a good number of passengers, but let's actually go to this line. Let me manage the vehicles. Let me replace them with these guys. They are, it's just over 24 miles per hour faster. It has, a higher capacity. Let's replace them and hopefully get more people interested in coming down here and using the planes to get down to Rochester. And I mean, on top of that, we're now giving Rochester some work, which is really cool. Not to mention, Rochester has grown to 465 people. It is projected to lose some people, unfortunately, but hopefully we can fix that. And then looking down here, there's 63 people wanting to go to Bingham right now. So this plane line is quite popular in the northerly direction, less so when it comes to bringing people down here, but that's fine. It's not the end of the world by any means. I'm all right with that. I just love that people want to come down here at all, or that they want to go north. This is really cool, just having this little, it's like a little outpost down here. I absolutely love it. I really do. It's the coolest thing. I'm so glad I went with like a more island-ish map. I absolutely adore it. I'm also, oh my god, I'm so keen to see if we can actually do some crazy things with coffee berries here. Just get ridiculous amounts of them moving. We're gonna need so many planes to make that work. That is gonna be an absurd number of coffee beans. So with Rochester now approaching 500 people and also now demanding goods, which is kind of crazy to think about, we could probably do that actually. Let me just take a little look up here. So we have good old Clitheroe, where we happen to be producing a good amount of oil. Now, oil is needed to make plastic, which we're doing over here. We do have goods production by Peterlee, so if we really wanted to, we could put goods on a train in Peterlee, move it down to Bingham, put it on a plane, and take it down to Rochester. I'm not really inclined to do that, but we could theoretically do that if we wanted to, which maybe at some point we'll do that. We do have an excess of plastic sitting around, which is interesting. We have a lot of steel sitting around as well. So let me just very quickly look at these lines and see how we're doing. So steel is 135, plastic is 106, plastic production is 157. Okay, so what we'll do is manage these vehicles, give me 2 more of them. That gives us 137, so that should balance things out, and we should see goods production just pick up a little bit for Peterlee, which is always going to be a good thing. Clitheroe, by the way, still hasn't reached 1,000 people. It'll get there eventually, but we probably should give a little bit of love and attention to some of these northern cities. Peterlee, for example, we can do some good things with that. It's very close to Norton, so that'll be interesting to get that growing. Clitheroe probably needs a little bit of attention as well. Acton is a place that we're delivering fuel to. We could probably do something with that. A whole lot of bricks sitting around here. Probably want to deal with that as well. And I think, weren't we moving something to Boston as well? Fuel, I think, yeah. So we could probably afford to sort of give some attention to those cities as well. But I love this cluster of 5 that we have here. I think it would be the coolest thing if it was possible to sort of like have them expand so much that their borders kind of rub up against each other, and then you just have like this big mega city surrounding this lake. That would be the coolest thing. I doubt it's going to happen, but it would be really, really cool to see that happen. It would be like one big city with train stops and stuff inside of it. I'd love it. I would absolutely adore that. But that's a pipe dream. I don't suspect that's going to happen, but you never know. You never know. Anyway, before I got distracted, what I wanted to do was have a look at my balance here, because yeah, this passenger line's still making ridiculous money. It was like 8 million at one point. This line, 3 million. The air cargo line, it's wild to me that in 1928 we have planes making a profit like that, 2.5 million. We even have this passenger one pulling $500,000. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of really cool that the planes are that successful. It's also cool that we're sitting on $79 million. So I think what I'm gonna do is because here's the thing, I want to try and avoid getting to a situation where I have like $1 billion. I know I usually make that a goal in Transport Fever, and maybe I will as we get to like the 2000s, but I want to make sure I'm spending my money, because otherwise this game gets kind of like Software Inc., where you have more money than you know what to do with. So I think, you know, I just mentioned expanding business in the likes of New Mills and Boston and, you know, Acton, and doing more with Peterlee and Clitheroe. I think I do want to do that because that's going to be a massive investment in infrastructure. And so doing that is going to consume a bunch of money. It's going to cost money to run all of that. And I think Midhurst as well, we can do some stuff down here to make it a bit more interesting. And, you know, just generally expand out a little bit. Now that we have an industry technically by Hodston, we could probably do something down here. But we'll see. We'll see what we end up doing. I'm excited to sort of experiment a little bit, but I think what we can do right now is leave it there for today, because man, I need to figure out what to do with these vehicles. It's wild. That is so bad. That is so much traffic. That is terrible. That is actually terrible. Oh my God. Yeah. That is a dreadful, dreadful thing. Can I, just before we wrap things up, can I extend that straight just a little bit? Does that do anything for us? I mean, it gives us a right-hand turn lane, which I guess is good. It means that any traffic wanting to make a right-hand turn now can. I think I'm gonna have to get rid of some buildings here, though. I'm gonna have to do this and see what that does for us. That might just help the traffic get freed up a little bit. That might do some good. I don't know if it will, but regardless, I think the truth is I just need fewer vehicles in this entire area, but we'll get there. We'll absolutely get there. For the time being, I think we are going to leave it there, though. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. It has been an absolute pleasure, as always. I love how this is turning out. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.